What did they put in front of me?
Put in front of me, put in front of me, put in front of me.
Apt with a Midwestern work ethic that shines through in the cage, Ellenberger possesses the typical relentlessness of a strong wrestler with heavy hands who enjoys pounding out opponents.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's it! It's all over!
After defeating Mike Pyle and John Howard, the Nebraska native showed his grit, determination, and perseverance in his split decision win over Carlos Eduardo Rocha. In addition, a first-round knockout over MMA veteran Sean Pearson proved that Ellenberger is ready to test his skills against the division's elite.
It comes down to winning, and if you keep winning, you're going to get a shot at the title. So that's basically my goal, is to get my shot at the title.
It's American Jiu-Jitsu versus American Wrestling in a battle that pits two ground-savvy fighters against each other. Shields looks to get back in the win column with a solid victory in what will be an emotional fight, while Ellenberger aims to crack into the upper echelon of the welterweight division. A victory over a former world champion would solidify his contendership.
It's time to go.
Winner of the Ultimate Fighter Season 11, Court the Crusher McGee rides a 7-fight winning streak as he enters the cage with Zhongyi Yang. Yang has finished all of his opponents in 10 victories, 9 of them by knockout. The Ultimate Fighter Season 12 winner Jonathan Brookins drops down to featherweight for his battle with up-and-comer Eric Koch. Brookins is on a 4-fight winning streak but hasn't fought since last December, and Koch has won Fight of the Night honors in his last 2 outings. In Alan the Talent Belcher's last fight, he earned the submission of the night over Patrick Cote, but he hasn't fought in more than a year. Belcher faces another Canadian in Jason McDonald, who has been awarded submission of the night 3 times.
Now we take it over to John Ramdeen and Robin Black to break down the rest of the card. Guys?
Thanks, Sarah. It is the sequel to Chinatown, right? The 2 Jakes?
Yeah.
That is the sequel, correct? Jake Shields, Jake Ellenberger, 2 of the absolute best welterweights in the entire sport colliding. This is a sensational matchup, and I believe it's going to be Jake Ellenberger's coming out party.
Well, I hate to agree with you, but I gotta agree with you. Jake Ellenberger is better on the feet, and he is this new class of fighter. You know, we know there's guys who are motivated by their jiu-jitsu, guys that are stand-up fighters, primarily. This guy is an ass kicker. That's his gig. He's a wrestler who beats you up on the feet, and he's tougher than you. That's what he's trying to prove, and that's what he's going to prove with Jake Shields.
Do you think Ellenberger wins this fight?
I do. I think Jake Ellenberger will be able to keep this fight standing. Jake Shields is this combination grappler-wrestler, and the key to that is the wrestling. You have to be able to get the guy down and submit him, which he could do if he can put Jake Ellenberger on his back. Unfortunately, Jake Ellenberger is as good a wrestler as Jake Shields is, so he keeps this fight standing, and he feasts on him on the feet.
I think you're insane. I think this fight is Jake Shields all the way. I said it's Ellenberger's coming out party because he's going to show the world exactly what he can do. It's that split decision loss to Carlos Condit that makes me question whether or not he can handle the level of fighter that Jake Shields is. Jake Shields, a pressure fighter. We saw that he can take big shots, like in the fight from Dan Henderson, went 5 rounds with George St. Pierre, trains as one of the best camps in the world. He is going to be absolutely prepared. Recently lost his father, who is his mentor and manager. He is going to be motivated, and I think Jake Shields is going to take it to Jake Ellenberger in this fight. But either way, it's really going to be a sensational matchup. Rufus Sport well represented. Alan Belcher taking on the Canadian Jason the Athlete McDonald, and I think the game plan for McDonald is to get the fight down to the ground as quickly as possible. Alan Belcher, some of the best Muay Thai in the UFC's middleweight division, so I think he's going to be very dangerous, but out of the frying pan and into the fire, or vice versa, because Alan Belcher very skilled on the ground as well.
Well, that's kind of the thing. You mentioned that McDonald, yes, he's really, really good on the ground, but he's no slouch. He's got nice box. He's no slouch on the feet. And then Belcher obviously looks great on the feet, has really solid skills in his Thai, but, you know, he's an all-around MMA guy. But I think the difference in this fight is Belcher's coming off a serious eye injury, very, very serious injury. And McDonald, he's already taken that road. He had a broken leg and came back, and he won that fight. So that little bit of difference can be the big difference in this fight.
And what is going to be the one factor that has the other one, or each man with the arm raised in victory?
I think for McDonald, he's, like you mentioned, he's got to take this to the ground. And when he does, he is very dominant there. We've seen this guy take this fights to the ground, submit guys very quickly, break their hearts on the ground, and I think that's the way this is going to go.
After the break, we look at Bellator's Season 5 middleweight tournament.
Currently in the beginning of their 5th season, Bellator Fighting Championships sees the kickoff of their 8-man middleweight tournament this weekend. It's Bellator 50 and it's going down in Hollywood, Florida.
The search to determine Bellator middleweight champion Hector Lombard's next opponent gets underway this Saturday night at Bellator 50 as the middleweight tournament kicks off in Hollywood. Season 2 middleweight tournament winner Alexander Shlemenko returns to the Bellator cage as he's matched up against Dream veteran Zel Gelisec. Since losing a closely contested 5-round war with Hector Lombard for the middleweight championship, Storm has racked up a 3-fight win streak and is no doubt a considerable favorite to repeat as tournament champion. The Croatian Gelisec, meanwhile, is making his North American debut and has been fairly inactive in MMA, just competing 3 times since 2008. While the Russian brawler will likely use his arsenal of spinning back fists and combinations, he may decide to take this to the canvas as 4 of Gelisec's 5 losses have come by way of submission. Season 2 middleweight tournament finalist Brian Baker is matched up against Season 1 tournament finalist Jared Hess. In his last fight at Bellator 43, Baker had a memorable performance, both inside and outside of the cage, knocking out UFC veteran Joe Riggs and proposing to his girlfriend.
Will you marry me? No pressure, you're on national television, go ahead.
Yes.
His opponent Hess is also building off some momentum after submitting Chris Bell in the first round in his last fight at Bellator 42.
There's the tap, and a triumphant return from injury for Jared Hess, the first-round submission win.
Both of these warriors are hungry for a win, with Baker overcoming a fight outside of the cage with leukemia this past year, and Hess fully recovered from a serious knee injury he suffered back at Bellator 20 against Alexander Shlemenko. Hess will want to close the distance and take this fight to the mat in an attempt to tame the beast, who does possess vicious knockout power. WAND Fight Team member Vitor Viana makes his Bellator debut against Smilin' Sam Alvey. Viana carries with him a 10-1 record and is well versed on the ground, being a second-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Alvey, meanwhile, turned some heads in his last performance, outlasting M1 Global veteran Carlo Mosu, earning a spot in this season's tournament. Alvey's game plan will likely rely on him keeping this fight on the feet, as he wants to avoid getting tangled in the jiu-jitsu web of the Brazilian submission ace. Finally, rounding out the main card, Ultimate Fighter Season 11 participant Victor O'Donnell battles Strikeforce veteran Brian Rogers. Look for the Team Vision product to go for his 9th submission victory, while Rogers will want to use his wrestling as he seeks his signature ground and pound finish. The tournament action begins this Saturday night at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood, Florida.
That'll be it for the show. Thank you to Corey Erdman, John Ramdeen, and Robin Black for breaking down the fights. And remember, if you're ever looking for more news or updates, visit our website, fightnetwork.com. And don't forget to hit us up on Twitter. Our handle is @FightNet. On behalf of the Fight Network, I'd like to thank the Ballroom for having us in their space. And thank you for watching. Enjoy the fights this weekend.
The sport of boxing needs this fight. A young, strong champion against a future Hall of Famer. Tell me about September 17th. Tell me.
I'll just show you.
All I gotta say is one thing. They put 41 in front of me. 41 came up short.
Not this one.
I'm finna get in and destroy this kid.